Well, I think fundamentally it boils down to the fact that our belief that education is the fundamental cornerstone to success in life, regardless of what field you pursue.
Two and a half years ago, I emailed Newt out of the blue. And 2.5 years later, I've gained not only a new confidant, but also a true friend. Newt's story, one laden with hard work, triumph, and perseverance, is like my story. It's the Minds Matter story, and it's ultimately the story of our country. So, thank you, Newt, and thank you to the greater Kindlund family for everything you do.
I started out humbly as an 11th grade American history teacher. It's my first job out of college, and then General Motors. I grew up in Central Michigan, kind of pulled me away, and so I left education to pursue a business career. We started our company with very little money, and eventually grew it to a nationwide chain, took it public in '89 and sold it in '99. That's the great American dream. Everybody aspires to that, and yet really the cornerstone to accomplishing that, I believe, is education, and that's your mission.
My name is Ernesto Araujo. I am a second year student at UC Berkeley, and I am majoring in marine science and astronomy. I am an immigrant from El Salvador, who, when I came to this country, I came empty-handed. I was not sure about my future. I wasn't even sure about if I would be able to go to college and pursue a career. Minds Matter believed in me and my potential. Without them, and people who invest into the life of young people like myself, I would not be where I am today. Thanks to donors like Newt and the Kindlund family, students across San Francisco who are struggling and come from low-income families have the opportunity to have a better future and be prepared for success. Newt and the Kindlund family, thank you for all your support. You are changing the life of many students like me.
My wife, she passed 2.5 years ago of cancer, and prior to that, we battled it for about 4 years. So we had a lot on our plate, and I regret not being more involved with more of our students at Minds Matter. But I think the incredible success rate, Irene, you've had is phenomenal. And I think it not only underscores what philanthropists like my wife and I are doing, but more importantly, what the young professional men and women who have signed up to become mentors to your organization that meet every Saturday, whether it's on Zoom or Facebook during COVID or in person, prior to that, and hopefully we'll get to that soon in our country. But the dedication they provide to provide focus and just the secret sauce of figuring out how these kids can matriculate on to schools like Harvard, like Middlebury College, like that Ellen graduated from.
My grandfather, he really worked extremely hard for everything he had, and so did my grandmother. So I feel like just like them always being there and telling me stories about how they grew up, and telling me stories about like where they went and how hard they worked and where they started and where they got to. I just can't imagine how just how much of a struggle and how much how confusing it is, because if you're a first generation person going to college, it would be immensely confusing. I think that Minds Matter is extremely important and helpful, and I think that can have a really large impact on kids who maybe don't have as much of a support system as most people do. I really value giving back, and not everyone has the ability to really give back in a huge way, but I think little ways matter just as much.
Hi, I'm Lee Fitzgerald, the chair of Minds Matter San Francisco's Board of Directors. This evening, we're taking the opportunity to spotlight the significant commitment made by the Kindlund family to Minds Matter San Francisco. Over the past 7 years, Joanne and Newt Kindlund have been generous and consistent supporters of Minds Matter and our mission to transform the lives of accomplished, low-income high school students by broadening their dreams and preparing them for college success. Tonight, we're extending our special thanks to Joanne, Newt, and their entire family. I've known Joanne and Newt Kindlund for almost 40 years and have personally witnessed the passion and the impact they brought to numerous charitable endeavors. I've admired their long history of educational philanthropy and the way they've instilled a strong sense of education and community service in their entire family. Minds Matter's unique focus on mentorship is especially resonant with the Kindlunds in that it mirrors their personal commitment to helping others. Until Joanne's untimely passing in 2019, rather than just providing funding for their philanthropic interests, Newt and Joanne have a decades-long history of personal engagement and have lent their experience, their energy, and their perspective to help build Minds Matter and other charitable organizations across the United States. Today, Newt continues the family tradition along with their 3 children, Kirsten, Erica, and Darian. Whether by direct giving, the creation of scholarship programs, or through personal service, the Kindlunds have acted not only as stalwart supporters of education, but as inspirational leaders, encouraging others to follow in their footsteps. As they've often said, it's all about leaving footprints in the sand. As the chair of Minds Matter San Francisco and as a longtime friend of Joanne and Newt Kindlund, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to extend our sincere thanks for their commitment to our mission and for their inspiration to us all. Thanks very much.
Hi, Newt. I'm Benton. I was a student in Minds Matter San Francisco class of 2016, and I graduated from college last year. Funding is always so important for our cause. So it's the generosity of donors like you that made it possible for my classmates and I to experience transformational summer opportunities and pave a path to college acceptance. Your help has impacted countless students' lives, and therefore, by extension, all the lives we will touch in our lifetimes. My family and I thank you deeply for your contribution to Minds Matter.
I liked the idea of really empowering and funding families that couldn't necessarily afford to send their son or daughter to a really first-class, magnificent university, which, you know, Minds Matter has some alums that have really exceeded all expectations. And I've tried to endure that passion with my grandchildren because I think it's important to give back to society. Success comes at a price, and oftentimes we get all hung up in this somewhat of an ego trip of success, and we fail to realize that along the way we've got to step up and pay our dues to society. And I truly believe that philanthropy has given us back as a family more than we've given in dollars to these various educational